Good afternoon everyone, welcome to my kitchen. For those of you that are new, my name's Janice and I'm a Thermomix consultant. A lot of my friends and family, I guess my age has got something to do with it, are looking at retiring. I'm a few years off yet, but a lot of them are starting to talk about retiring. Some of them already have, and they are caravanning. So the new TM7 there's been a bit of excitement around it because of the base, and this is so much easier to store in a caravan because it can go in one of the drawers in the kitchen or under something. It's not the big, it's not as big as what it used to be. It still takes up the same footprint on the bench, but it's the storing ability that's got everyone excited. So we've been talking about baking, like cakes and biscuits and scrolls, and I've been asked to look into using the Varoma. So I've got a few ideas, and one of them I've found is these steamed Mocha scrolls. Now, what I liked about this was the ingredients, as well as the fact that we're going to steam these in the Varoma. Now, I'll have a look at the Varoma. This makes 8 scrolls. And the ingredients are water, sugar, yeast, flour, salt, instant coffee, cocoa powder, brown sugar, vanilla bean extract, and butter. All things that are in a basic pantry. I don't think there's anything there that you wouldn't have in a basic pantry. So I thought I would do this one. Now, like a couple of videos or a month ago, I decided that I wasn't going to cook anything else that I hadn't on YouTube that I hadn't actually tried the recipe for. So since I've done that, I think half of what I've cooked has been new recipes. So I apologise for this. When I do recipes that I haven't made before, there's always surprises, there's always learning. So anyway, new recipe, never made it before. I have a clean, dry mixing bowl, and we're going to start cooking. So I'm a little bit excited about these. They sound delicious. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to activate our yeast. So that is 260 grams of water, you can do it. Okay. Perfect. 60 grams of sugar. And they say white sugar, but you can probably use raw sugar as well. That won't make that much of a difference. Or caster sugar. I just wouldn't use brown sugar, even though you could probably use that too. But what are we up to? That's 20. What's that? 59, 58. Let's go. Alright, this one's being a bit picky. There it is. And then 10 grams of instant dry yeast. So when you're buying those sachets, I think they've got like 7.5 grams. So if you're just using the sachet yeast, that would probably, 1 sachet would do it. Now next, so 2 minutes, 37 degrees, speed 3. And I'll be back. So we're moving on to next. Now we're going to add flour and salt. Rightio. So we want 500 grams of plain flour. So you use what you've got, and I have got some plain flour, but I've mainly got this baker's flour. I've got another bag of this in the freezer waiting for when this one's finished. And I haven't got very much plain flour left, so I'm using this one for these scrolls. Whoops. It sprinkled it hard. And then 2 pinches of sea salt. Next, 2 minutes we're going to knead it for. Next, following the next steps. Wet 2 pieces of baking paper with water. Wet 2 pieces with water. I guess you could do it with milk or juice or coffee. So I've got 2 pieces of baking paper which I have wet and scrunched up, and we're going to use one of them for the Varoma dish and one of them for the Varoma tray. Swap these. I had one a little bit bigger, so I thought I would use the littler one in the dish and the bigger one in the tray. Like that. Then set that aside. Okay. And so we've got a minute left on our kneading. So I will be back. Righty-go. I'm a little bit scrunched up here. I'll have to work out what I've done wrong. Maybe I've got this Thermomix moved over too far. Anyway, so we want half of the dough on this work surface. So I'm going to tip it all out and then put half back is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've got most of that out. So if we go like that and like that. Oh yeah, so that's about half. And then form into a ball and then set aside. Oh yeah. Next, now into here we're going to add 2 teaspoons of instant coffee. Then we want 70 grams of cocoa powder, or 10 grams, sorry, 70%. Now I don't know what this is. This is just my cocoa powder. It may be 70. So we've got that, 10 grams. Let's use this. That was so close. I reckon if I had put a full tablespoon in the first time, that would have been exactly 10 grams. and then 20 grams of water. Where did I put the water? Here. Okay, perfect. Oh. Next, and we're going to knead that for a minute. And while we're kneading that, we're going to roll this out into approximately 40 by 28. So I'll grab my rolling pin, and then I'll come back. I'll go, once I get back here, I'll start that kneading. Rightio. So I'll form this up into a rectangle, and then we'll roll it. Now I'll just stretch the corners out to encourage it to be more rectangle-ish. Okay, next, and then we're going to, once we get this one rolled out, then we'll roll this one out to the same size. So what have we got here? I want to see what 40 looks like on my rolling pin. Yeah, about that. It's about a 50 centimetre rolling pin. So where is it? Rightio. And I'll be back when I get this one rolled out, and then we'll get the other ball out. Rightio, so we've got that rolled out. That one's got a bit of a, I've stretched it a bit hard there, but now we're going to have a look at the coffee one. So it says it'll look a bit marbly, and to knead it, so transfer it onto a work surface. Oh, look what I just did on my dough. Rightio, I'll fix that in a minute. And then we're going to roll it out into a ball the same size. So this one's a little bit wetter than this one. Oh, get out. So I'll have to fix that. And then we're going to lay it on top. So I'll be back when I get the two layers together. Rightio, so they're layered together. That was a lot easier. The top one was a lot easier to roll out than the bottom one. Okay, roll up along the longer edge. I think this is what we're doing. And then cut into 8 equal pieces. Now, if you are going to use a knife, a sharp knife, don't do it on your on your dough mat. I've got somewhere a Oh, here. I've got this bread knife. What is it, a dough knife? Which has got quite a sharp edge on it. Oh, look at that. I got that pretty much exactly in half. Okay. And now, 8 is easy. It is. Because we can just keep cutting it in half. Okay. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these are supposed to be extra large. So okay, let's try this one. I don't know if they're probably the same amount of sharpness. I think the rounded edge is the same amount of sharpness as the flat edge. Rightio. And they are our 8 scrolls. And they're not perfectly the same, but I find that dividing it in half are very similar. Now we want 4 in the dish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, can you see that? And then 4 on the tray. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to just cover and leave them for an hour. So I will set this timer for 1 hour. Now I'm not going to totally ignore it because I haven't made these before, and it is a fairly warm day, but I'm going to set the timer for an hour so I can see exactly how much time it takes for them to rise. So I will be back. So righty, I've got them. They've been rising for about half an hour. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue on with the recipe because we've got to make a sauce that we're going to let cool. So that is what we're going to do. Now I haven't washed this bowl. It didn't say to wash the bowl, and I haven't. So we're going to start off with 120 grams of brown sugar. That's 126 grams. Okay. 50 grams of water. We've got 1 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. So I'm going to use a teaspoon for this. Right. 2 teaspoons of coffee, of instant coffee. So what I've got is a ½ tablespoon measure, and that's 2 teaspoons. So I'm not going to be putting vanilla bean paste in my coffee. Okay. 30 grams of butter. Cut into pieces. Oopsie, and we have to click next for it to go on and then activate the scales. Oh, look at that, perfect. And then a pinch of salt. There we go. Next, and we're going to cook that for 5 minutes at 120 degrees on speed 1. Oops, get out of it. Got little midges here. Okay. And then once that's cooked, we will put it into a bowl. So I'll put it into a little jug I've got out, and we'll leave it to cool while the scrolls continue to rise. And I'll be back. Okay. So we're going to transfer this into, it says a bowl, but I've got this little jug. And I don't know if you can see it's a bit syrupy. So obviously as it cools, it'll get a bit thicker. Righto. It smells good. So it says transfer into the bowl and set aside. And now the next step is we're going to place water into the thing, and we'll bring it to the boil. We'll use the kettle mode. So once they've finished rising, I will come back. Oh. That's quite nice. I'll see how it goes. Probably could have a little bit more coffee in it because I like a coffee. But anyway, I'll be back when we get to when these get risen enough. Then I'll boil the water. So I'll come back when I put the kettle on, and we'll keep going. So we've got 5.5 minutes left for the scrolls for their hour, and I'll just show them to you. So they're puffing up quite nicely. Oops, we don't want that to run away. I'll just give it it does need a little bit longer to rise. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put this water on to boil. So it says to boil 600 grams of water. So I'll tear that. And this is still an unwashed bowl, so there hasn't been any washing of the bowl in between stages. Look at that. Right. And if it takes much longer, then all I'll do is I'll boil this kettle now. So next, and it's just they're just using kettle mode, and it's going to boil the water to 100 degrees. So if you have got a Thermomix without a kettle mode, like one of the earlier models, then all you've got to do is heat your water up to 100 degrees. And I'll be back, and we'll have a look to see if they need more rising time. If they do, I will just leave them to rise, and when they get, when they're how I want them to be, then I'll just reboil the kettle. But it won't take as long. Rightio? I'll be back. Okay, so we've reboiled the kettle. Next, I've let these rise a bit more, and now we're going to pop that in place on top of the Varoma. We're going to steam them for 12 minutes, and we've got 12 minutes Varoma, slowest speed with the steaming temperature, and we go. So now this shows that the lid is actually unlocked. The Varoma's in place, and that's our time countdown. I mean, I love how much information they've got that is so clear on these big screens. Rightio, I'll be back, and we will see what the next step is. Okay, they smell amazing. So it says to set the Varoma aside and allow to cool for approximately 5 minutes. I want to peek, but this could be, holy smokes, look at them. Rightio. We're going to set the timer on the Thermomix for, oops, hang on. The timer for 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll have a look. They smell really yeasty and bready, so I'm actually really looking forward to these. So that's the 5 minutes up, and now it says then serve. Ooh. They feel like, you know those your pork buns you get from the Asian shops. That's what they feel like. And then served drizzled with the coffee syrup. Yes, they all feel beautifully cooked. Rightio, I'm going to grab a plate. This one looks perfect. Oh, it smells amazing. And we're going to drizzle it with, and I'll show you this syrup. It's still a little tiny bit warm, but it's thick. Rightio. I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. Rightio. I've got to do this. Oh, yum. That syrup's really nice too. Delicious. So, okay, and I don't want to kill the squirrels. I don't know. I mean, with the scroll, I think the fun is unrolling it. That one doesn't unroll real well, but I've got sticky hands. Tastes amazing. And I'm going to throw them in the freezer as well. I mean, we'll eat some for tea tonight, but the rest I'm going to throw in the freezer. Oh, yum. Definitely try them. They are delicious. So, and if you're looking for something to make that doesn't need, and that when you haven't got an oven, but you have a Thermomix, definitely give these a try. They are really nice. They're soft and moist, delicious. Rightio. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please give it a thumbs up, pop over to my channel and subscribe, and I really hope I'll see you next time.